this episode of Unlocking Silicon Valley, we're here to embarrass my husband Jason for his birthday because he loves to celebrate everyone else's birthday except his. So he'll be here in about 2 minutes, and we're going to have everyone sing happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to the guy who hates celebrating.
The guy who hates birthdays.
Yay!
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Unlocking Silicon Valley with Aaron,
Jason,
Ben,
Mark,
and behind the scenes,
Jacob. Congratulations on the engagement.
Jacob just got engaged. He's
stuff.
starting his journey with Miss Haley.
And Jason finally turned 30.
That's right.
7.
I've been 29 for a while.
All right, last week I felt a little bit funny because we didn't have Mark, and today I would like to start off with Mark's top 10 list.
Oh, really? All right, that fast. We're jumping right in. Actually, I have several lists going on.
He's loaded.
Yeah, and we got a new great intro, too, that thanks to Jacob. It's like boom, 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 top 10. All right, so top 10 hottest housing markets of 2025, and you'll never guess where they are at. I'll give you the criteria.
Yeah, criteria,
Criteria is where demand outpaces supply. Obviously, we know Silicon Valley, but Silicon Valley is not on the list.
This is countrywide.
Countrywide.
Okay.
Right? Based off of forecasting home value growth, so the area they believe that is seeing the highest amount of appreciation. Recent housing market velocity, where's that tracking? Projected changes in the labor market, so emerging markets.
You love
I'm
the
Emerging
I'm ready. I'm
markets.
ready.
All right?
Nashville, Tennessee.
No.
Not even on the top 10?
Not even the top 10. Dude, no Texas, no California.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
No.
Boca?
How about let me get one.
Dude, you got 10 of them here. You guys
How
got to
about
hit something.
2024. I'm gonna go with
2025.
Oh, okay.
Projected.
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 I'm gonna go with.
You're not gonna get any of
No,
this.
I'm gonna go with near a car manufacturing plant. Is Detroit in there?
Detroit?
No, the best, not the worst.
They're still giving away properties in Detroit.
Okay, how about I get one more guess?
I literally had a client send me a property in Detroit that was a like 250,000 square foot bad looking old building, and it was $350,000.
Oh,
dude, it's gonna cost you. Don't look at my.
I'm looking at the list and I wouldn't have
Can't
guessed
read it
any.
anyways.
No, I
know,
wouldn't
right?
have guessed
All
any.
right, so let's back up. Buffalo, New York.
10 or 1?
Yeah,
Buffalo?
number
One.
one.
because the
Buffalo,
Bills
number
are just not good.
Bills
at
Mafia.
football.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
What?
Providence, Rhode Island.
What?
Pat McAfee.
Hartford, Connecticut. Philadelphia. Oh, Eagles might have elevated
Eagles?
it. You know,
I guess.
St. Louis, Missouri, which happens to be the place where we just bought that last triple net.
That's
investment. Charlotte, North Carolina.
That I could have guessed.
Guys, we can't all talk at the same time.
We're excited.
Can you please say the top 10 list
Oh
again?
my God.
Thank you, Aaron.
Buffalo, New York. Indianapolis, Indiana. Providence, Rhode Island. Hartford, Connecticut. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Go Eagles. Beat those Chiefs. St. Louis, Missouri. Charlotte, North Carolina. Kansas City, Missouri.
Ooh.
Richmond, Virginia. And Salt Lake City, Utah. So Salt Lake was the only one I was surprised because now it's been on the list for a while now, and they haven't. I mean, they've lost their ranking, but
I'm surprised
Those are the top
Sparks,
10.
Nevada isn't on.
Yeah, why don't you think like Florida, Tennessee?
well, I think it could be these areas are seeing a higher appreciation, right? The percentage of appreciation that they're seeing, because a lot of those areas, like you look at Tampa, Florida, they've kind of seen that growth over the last year, so it's probably the growth has slowed down. Not saying it's a bad area to go, because on the other side of it is what states will not tax your retirement. We have a lot of clients who are looking at where do they go get out of
Not
California.
tax
I'm gonna go back to Tennessee.
Tennessee is one of them. That's right. Florida.
How about Delaware?
Alaska. Florida, Illinois. A lot of them. Iowa, Mississippi, Nevada, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming.
In California, of course, right?
How long was that?
Yeah, that won't that's not a top 10. That's,
I was gonna say.
That's just Mark's list.
that's my list. So those are states that will not tax your retirement income.
Income, okay.
Income.
So Social Security is considered income,
That would be correct.
so no taxes there.
Well, actually, I think Trump is eliminating tax on Social Security income.
I heard he's going retroactive and giving me,
And then, okay, you want one more? You want one more?
Of course.
Please,
This one's
we're
interesting.
dying
We
to
all
hear it.
know our generations, right? The generation, Gen X
Boomer,
and all that
millennial.
stuff.
Yeah.
So this is, what is the percentage of each category of generations are buying homes? Okay?
Okay.
So you got boomer. Did anybody tell me that? Oh, don't look at this, man. I know you're saying.
talked about this last week.
So older boomers, did you already go past this?
No, we didn't talk about
All right, well, anyways.
Go ahead,
So
Mark.
older boomers, which are born 46, 54, 66 years old to 74, 12%. 12%
still
of
buying
buyers
homes?
are still buying homes.
First homes?
Yes.
First homes?
No, not
No,
first
just homes in general.
I mean, Mark's 68.
in
He's
the
just
active.
falling.
Oh, man. Younger boomers, 56 to 65, 19%. Gen Xers, which are 1965, 1979, 24%. That's the highest one.
No kidding.
That's the highest one. Yep. 41 years old to 55 years old.
41 to 55.
Older Gen Y millennials, born from 1980 to 1989, makes 21%. So that's number 2 of the active.
No one
gen.
else? Just me? Got it. Continue.
And then 22 to 30-year-olds, 17%. And, 21 years and younger, 3%.
Not
So
bad.
how does that affect someone like, not you, or I should say like you as a listing agent, or you?
I think it's data, right? It's a matter of, listen, you can never, we got this last night. We're talking to some clients and they're like, well, how are you going to put a strategic plan together for the person who's going to buy my house? You don't know who's going to buy your house. We don't know who's going to pay you the top dollar for it. So you got to use that shotgun effect. But I think it's interesting more so, of course, we're in the business, right? So we look at how do you identify the individuals that are going to be the most highly active ones in our industry right now, right? So who do we go after? How do we approach our marketing for those individuals and stuff? So I think from the normal consumer, it's just good data to have, right? But it's more for us as industry professionals.
And that was
who's gonna buy those.
nationwide.
That's nationwide.
Because what we're seeing,
Well, yeah.
is everyone between 30 and 42.
Yeah.
Well, last week you said average age right now for first-time buyer, 38.
Yeah. It's gone up quite a bit. Yeah.
That's up.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nationwide.
When I started in the business, the average age was, probably 27, 25 for some home buyers because it was more affordable.
Well,
back
I also blame your generation for letting housing prices get to how high they've become.
then. You're complaining about that?
Playing.
I mean, it's a little ridiculous when you guys tell us, I bought my first house at 22. And I'm like, oh, that was when it was 200 grand.
No, less.
Well, yeah, but we used to hear from our parents that were saying the same thing, and they paid 50
Okay,
grand for their
but you
house.
could work at a grocery store and buy a house.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Back to,
single income is what you're saying.
yeah, maybe.
I mean, the income from when you bought a home compared to the income now has.
But nobody expected, Silicon Valley, if you would have said that term back in the 70s, what is that? Isn't that like the breast implant
So
thing or
here's-
something? I mean, come on.
Here's a question I have.
It's part of a chicken, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, Silicon Valley, nobody expected this area to be, it was orchards, right? That's all it was. This whole area was agriculture and orchards, and it turned into the place where executives want to live.
Here's my politically correct statement. I hosted a house this weekend, new listing that I had, where I told you guys I was going to kill it.
Yeah.
I went $1 million over list price, by the way.
Wow, that's killing it.
17 offers.
What?
But what I noticed
And you're
was
blaming my generation
everyone
for doing
is
that?
so focused on
Jeez.
schools, but not one person that walked into that house was a local resident that went to one of these
Well,
schools.
that goes without saying. I mean, we have a
So we have this great school system, but no one that goes to the school system is buying the houses where they went to the school.
like the alumni that
Like,
got
okay, this was in Lynbrook.
Right.
Not one person wrote an offer that went to Lynbrook.
Well, I think you said it, because when those people were going to Lynbrook, your average person was able to buy a house in the Lynbrook school district. Now that they're 20 years, 30 years older, the reality of it is locals can't really afford this market.
Correct.
That's why everyone's getting the hell out of Dodge.
Can you? Are you able to divulge like how big the house, lot, and
Yeah, of course.
Maybe
We
not.
could throw it back to the last podcast when I said this was going to happen when I underpriced properties, which means that 20 plus people think that $2.2 million for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot house is affordable. So there was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, better house, more dialed in, and we matched that with a 3-bed, 2-bath, completely original.
Wow.
with a smashed back French door
Well, we won't go into
due
that.
to a homeless
but-
person sleeping in the house. But I actually would like to talk about that.
About what? The homeless person? The unhoused?
No.
It's not homeless. It's unhoused.
It is unhoused.
It's unhoused.
This guy was homeless.
He wanted to be politically correct.
He was definitely housed.
So
You're there.
that night.
So I think this is important. If you, as a seller, are thinking about hiring a real estate agent to get your home sold and it's going to be vacant,
Yes.
you sure as hell better think about having a team behind you, because if
Yeah.
that individual agent has 4 houses, how are they
Yeah.
going to help monitor to make sure that this house doesn't get broken into?
Right.
And if it does, what are you going to do?
Right.
Right? This house was broken into, and within one day, we had a full team over there.
Yeah.
We had the house getting cleaned up. We have new sliders installed, and then we were able to install an alarm system so that it could put our sellers at ease who are not even in the same state as us.
Well, I think you're absolutely correct with that. Having a team behind us allows us to have those resources to bob and weave when need be and to respond to urgent situations. More importantly, though, I think it's very important. Simple things like keeping the internet active on your property when you're making it vacant. A lot of people turn all that stuff off. Keep it on. So you put your cameras up there and have your alarm system. But we know that those, an alarm will kind of show you the shadowy figure with their hoodie on, but it's not going to do anything but document the event. An alarm system would be great, as long as you're going to get a quick response time, depending on what jurisdiction you're in. The other great thing about having a team is that you can expedite the amount of visits that you're doing to that property, right? Because like you said, individual agent with 4 properties, they might be going there once a week.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And stuff's going to happen. It's a sign of the times. So protect yourself.
yeah, I think keeping your internet on, if you heard anything from what you just said, is huge.
Yes.
Leave the cameras up. We're not doing it to go and capture the guy. We're doing it so that they don't want to break in. Right?
Yeah, it's
like
a deterrent.
preventative.
Just a deterrent.
And a loud alarm that
And
other neighbors
put them up
can
high
hear.
enough to where they're not going to just grab them and
your,
take them
your
with them.
neighbors are your best friends, right? So
100%.
the neighbors unlocked the cameras, so now we have access to it for the next week or two.
Right.
Make sure everything's good. So, who you work with matters.
100%.
Or we can get VKG beware of dog signs to put on the fence.
It's good. Maverick and Mozzarella and Buster. Have a serious guard now.
For sure. My dog's too old.
All right. So what else? We've got stats. We've got you got some recent activity there. Big success story. So activity is still huge right now.
Activity
in the right
is
areas.
bonkers. If you bought at the end of last year,
You're already up.
let's say the average price home, you're probably up 200 grand.
Well, okay.
Like if you bought in October,
So 10%.
yeah, for sure.
10%.
From October.
From October.
Big statement.
I mean, I bought John Quill 125. I just sold it for 175. Yeah, I put money into it.
Yeah.
That's like a 16%
Yeah.
return.
Well, hey, let's talk stats. So right now, Santa Clara County single family homes, not coming soon or anything, active, 548.
Okay. So that's an increase though, because we were talking. It was in the 3s and 4s
yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Low 4s or something
Which
like
is typical because we start seeing that increase as we get into spring, right? Do you have any idea of how many coming soon properties that we have in the inventory?
that. I don't.
Probably
didn't
a
look.
couple hundred, right? Several hundred, probably.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say, I think, probably like 250.
Yeah, yeah.
Or so.
Okay, all right.
Townhouse condos combined, 489.
So we're over the 1,000 property barrier.
Correct.
Right? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
But still, like Aaron said, 95129, good schools. I think it was well over 100 through a 2-day span.
I went through 100 floors.
Not even counting the Wednesday. So probably 150.
So let's say a buyer hears this, right? And they're like, well, okay, guys, I mean, how am I going to buy a house with that limited inventory? How am I going to buy a house? Who you work with matters.
Well, yeah.
right?
So like we did our house this weekend, and we were able to find 3 coming soon opportunities that the listing agents are open to sharing with us and getting in before it goes on the market. Elderly sellers, hey, we don't really want to do all this. We just need until June to stay in the property.
So what do you believe the top 3 items are that a buyer can do to assist themselves in getting a house today?
Find an agent whose number 1 priority is networking with other realtors
Okay.
to find you a property.
That's number 1.
Number 2, finding an agent that's number 2 priority is finding sellers that are motivated and want
Okay.
to sell their house.
Okay.
I'll say number 3 is going to go back to the buyer. Stay motivated throughout this process.
Right.
I think a lot of the times buyers start to get discouraged, tired, stressed. They get buyer fatigue because they're either getting maxed out and getting beat on offers that they can't compete against, or just not finding anything because of inventory levels. It's like I like to tell my buyers who like to use the word break. I like to use the word, I don't know.
Take a break.
Yeah, like take a break.
They say they want to take a break.
Pause.
Well, if you
Pause,
took a
but
break
no-
last year in the market, you cost yourself $200,000.
Yeah, and don't discourage. I mean, I am always pleasantly surprised on how we continue. You guys, especially, continue to post buyer transactions going on there, right? And I will say what you guys didn't say. I think there's two other ones, right? One's a new one.
You got to pivot as well.
Absolutely. But mortgage, get yourself pre-approved, educate yourself
Oh,
on that,
of
right?
course.
And the third one is a new one in my mind is educate yourself on insurance, right? Right? Like where the property is, how's that insurance going to flow, what's going to be the budget for that insurance.
Yeah. I mean, that's more like a high fire risk. But the average house in a Cambrian doesn't
Right.
have as big of an insurance issue as like
That is true.
where you live
That
in
is
Los
true.
Gatos.
That's true.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times buyers, to go back to like taking a break, they just need to become more selective. I think a lot of the times, like you said, when they take a break for too long, that money that they save might just get wiped out by the appreciation and prices in the
So
neighborhood.
when you say
And-
more selective, what do you mean by that?
Like if you're only wanting Lynbrook, like maybe
open it up
a
maybe you need to
little.
go
If
to
you
Prospect
wanna,
or Cupertino.
you know,
I mean, that goes back to where you make your list of 10, and if you get 6 or 7 of them, you're
like
winning.
not in a rude way, but if you're priced out, you're priced out.
Yeah, it's nothing you
Well,
can
is
do.
what it is.
Except to be able to, like you said, be maybe less selective, right? I mean, open up your criteria a little bit more to where, okay, yeah, listen, maybe I don't get the school that's a 9 right now, but I damn well can get a school that's a 7 or an 8. And then 2-3 years from now, I can afford the 9.
Exactly.
And when you put yourself in a situation where you have your funds lined up, you're pre-approved,
Yep.
you understand these things, it puts you in a more confident position to make these moves instead of stressing over what you can't necessarily afford because prices are going too high. So I always tell buyers, stay motivated, and when the right one comes, it'll line up and it'll happen. It takes us to do the dirty work and find these off-market properties. Had a buyer last week or got in a contract this week. Property was on the market for 3 days, took advantage of a relationship we had in a preemptive offer and got it accepted, and the offer deadline was on Thursday. So it's like there's ways to get around it. You have to be motivated with the process. Don't take a break and completely dodge track of homes coming on, what we're sending you. It's a marathon, not a sprint. If buying a home was easy, every person in this valley would do it.
So let me ask you this, then. What are the top 3 things that a seller can do to ensure success in the sale of their property?
I mean, one thing, price the property accordingly. I mean, again, we go back on this over and over again. I had a client.
We laugh at Ben because Ben tends to push a
Ben
little
likes to
bit.
go at value.
Listen. My home sell.
And then when he gets a good one, he goes, 500 over.
So I mean, obviously, pick the right agent.
I mean,
going to meet all your needs.
But
Yeah,
mine,
pricing strategy.
for your long-winded answer, mine is housing prep.
Okay, housing prep,
Clean, vacant, ideally.
eliminating
and then let us
distractions.
stage it.
Got it.
What's yours?
No, it's just it. It's like when a seller asks, what's my property going to appreciate in 4 years and I'm on a busy street. I mean, at the same time, it'll appreciate. We can't tell you how much, but if you price it properly, it'll sell. If you overprice a property, let's say on a busy street or in a home, and you end up sitting on the market and losing leverage, that's when your homes don't sell. Any home, like I said in the last podcast, will sell.
You want to lead the market instead of
Yeah.
chasing the market.
But I also think busy streets right now are selling, like we always factor in like 10%. I think it's closer to about 30.
30% difference spread? No way. But to your point,
I'll even show you.
please do. I'd love.
Like if
to
you
see
look at Bollinger, it just went for 2.3, and
Yeah.
if you look at what we just sold for, same house, it just went for 3.3. That's 33%.
Okay. Well, I mean, that could be one of those one-offs, but fair enough.
I mean, when I'm the listing agent, I'm driving.
Well,
up.
so no, that's absolutely right. Who you work with matters. That's an interesting point because does the pricing of homes that have distractions, like you said, busy roads, sound walls behind them, transformer towers and stuff, we know that when the market's active, low inventory, people will look past those distractions a little bit. But are you seeing that maybe that's not the case now? You just mentioned a huge spread for a busy road.
I think
right?
busy road, freeways, and power lines, the top 3 things
still
that
right
people
now.
are really not liking.
Okay.
Like look at Highland Oaks. That's not selling.
Are we back on the market on Highland?
Yeah.
All right, well, it will sell. It just has to be priced right, so we're not chasing the market.
I think, unfortunately, what has happened here in the Bay Area is we are so used to multiple offers that when I am the listing agent, I always get the question of how do you work? And at first I didn't understand the question. And what I realized that the buyer's agent was asking me is, once I submit my offer, are you going to call me and explain to me where I need to potentially be?
Right.
Or are you going to let me lose by $5,000? Or is there another offer that's the exact same price and terms as me and they wrote a letter? Like weird things, right? And the way that
It's a fair question.
Yeah, and the way that I work is you will never lose on a property without hearing from me and me telling you like where you need to be. I think this non-transparency of listing agents not giving you any guidance because it's not fair for everything else is leaving a lot of money on the table.
But I don't understand. How is it not fair?
Well, Mark doesn't always divulge all the info.
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I mean, I set up a multiple offer scenario. I let people, because I believe on the flip side of this, I want to create the fury. I want to create the anxiety to where I'm going to get the best offer possible, right? So I tell the agent, say, listen, you're not going to, generally speaking, you're not going to get a multiple counter offer out of me. You need to put your best foot forward. So tell your clients, because they might not get a second chance. So I want to know that you're putting your best foot forward.
But whereas I called every single client or every single buyer and buyer's agent, and I tell them, hey, you need to be over this, over this, over this.
So it's two separate strategies, but the end result is
I hate people like him. I'm like, dude, just tell me.
I generally get the highest price of any house that I've ever sold in the neighborhood.
I think mine is higher than his.
But there's also a little bit more to that too, right?
Okay, so wait. They told me that was their best and final, and then when I called them back, they went up another 100.
Well, and so here's the scenario too. I mean, I've seen so many times where things will backfire in sellers as well. So I'm not saying that. Here's what I'm saying. If I've got a property where we're listed at 1.8 and we got 10 offers coming in, and I got offers that are like at 2.1, 2.15, and the one at 2.1 is all cash, the one 2.15 is loans. I'm going to call the guy up at 2.1, let him know, hey, listen, we're calling you back because you wrote a great offer, you're all cash. I'm dealing with something else that has some financing things here a little questionable. Would you be willing to increase it to X price?
That's good.
I'll make that call, but I'm not going to go, hey, Ben, I got another agent who came in at $2 million. If you go to 210, it's okay. And by the way, Aaron, I got somebody coming in at 210. So if you go to 225, and Jason, you know what? This guy's going to 225. You want to go to 2,050,000? Oh,
it's like an auction.
Hey, yeah,
5 and 5, 5 and 5.
I got 2,050,000. I know I told you I'd sell it to you for 2.1, but you know what? If you come up to 2.2, I mean, to me, that's.
I mean, I don't operate like a circus, but it's damn close. Everyone's hearing from me.
We're all under the tent.
Hey, but here's why I do it.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on the other side and I'm writing offers on those buyer's agents' properties and now they're the listing agent, they see, boom, I gave you the price. And then guess what? They give me
I get it. And believe me, you can line up 100 top producers and all of them are going to have a different way that they kind of do it. I mean, I know we have some very successful agents in our other office.
I like to run the
where
auction.
They run it as an auction.
Yeah, but that one pissed me off. That was too transparent.
Can you break down the auction for the
What
viewers?
did you just say? It's too transparent?
That was like...
So there's a limit to what your transparency
Hold on.
is.
Unpack this.
Right.
No, it's like...
Yeah.
No, I can't unpack it.
No, I know. Explain to the viewers.
It's just too like eBay. Like,
how's that any different?
Oh, what, you're watching the bid go up?
If you come up to where I told you to go, it's yours. But don't be like, oh, then hey, Mark just came up. Hold on. Jason, Mark came up. You're going to have to beat it now. And then you go back. Hey, Jason.
I just had a situation that happened with me that I was paying. I got a call for a product that, whatever. I got a call for something I wanted to buy. And the guy said, I hate to tell you this, but they want $100,000 over list price on it. Would you be willing to pay?
Was it a car or something?
I said,
$100,000.
Stop. I said, absolutely yes. Calls me back 15 minutes later. Oh, you won't believe what happened. The other guy went to 175 over. Fuck, yeah, that pissed me off. Don't tell me I have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge when you do this.
No, you got to dance.
Thing.
You know what Abraham Lincoln said? What goes around comes around like a hula hoop.
Do they have hula hoops back
That's
then?
probably some rap song he just heard.
Lil Wayne, Abraham Lincoln.
I knew it.
So bottom line to our consumers, I think it is important to have that conversation with your listing agent. Well, I don't know. On one hand, it's like, let us do our job.
Yeah.
We know what works for us. So, I don't know if I need to, I'll tell you what my strategy is, and we can walk through where, you might think, is it better to do this or that? But
it's like going to the dentist. Are you going to ask the dentist how he's going to pull your teeth?
Hell
or you
no.
just say, get it out of my mouth?
and don't let me feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need this teeth pulled.
Right.
I need the results.
Absolutely.
Period. I don't care how we get there.
That's it. There's so many different ways to get it's as long as the results, that success that we're looking for, and that's what we do. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Preach.
Good conversation. Damn.
That's hilarious.
Aaron was on today. It must have been the sushi.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Got
Yes,
that,
thank you,
man.
sir.
So,
All right. What else?
my question of the day is, do you believe that downtown San Jose will gentrify without Google moving in?
Hasn't it already done that?
No, they haven't moved in yet.
Well, no, not Google, but I mean downtown.
Has it gentrified?
No.
Well, look at
They can't sell that new.
look at the Burbank area. I mean, San Jose.
95128. I'd say that's an emerging market, kind of by Valley Medical.
Yeah, I mean
We call that downtown?
No, but Mark apparently does. He doesn't even leave Los
Like
Gatos.
east of like Market.
Oh,
Or east of
I'm
your,
saying
east of your- east of
downtown
the
San
arena.
Jose.
well, I don't know. Listen, I remember there was a time where
You going on dates down there?
I know that there was a time when there used to be a tiki bar or something down in
That's close. Yeah, there was a stabbing.
Goosetown is Goosetown still there?
That's Willow Glen.
Okay, that's not San Jose. It's only 2 blocks away.
Mark's LG.
No, but I mean the demographics were quite a bit different 20 years ago than it is today. I mean, there was a time that nobody would go into East San. You would not go to downtown.
We're talking downtown.
Down Santa
Well,
Clara.
so like where I'm not a downtown
Let
guy.
me-
That's
like,
where-
okay.
Snap Center
Yeah.
is, you know?
Apparently,
East
we
of-
could scrap the conversation. Mark doesn't know where downtown is.
No, I can tell you this: it's much more gentrified today than it was 20 years ago.
Really?
Now,
Really?
Now it would have, yes, and I can show you why.
Tell me.
Now the fact that Google, I mean, listen, any time, and this is why I can't tell you how many projects I've been involved with, from North 40 to the wonderful Cambrian Plaza, to even when they were putting a Costco in over there at Almaden, where, to Google. Everybody hears, oh my God, Google's making this announcement. What happens? Everybody flies out there and start jacking up the values and stuff. I always advise my clients, investors, saying, just wait. Just wait. I mean, look at what happened with the stadium. I mean, I guess if you can get it early on.
Stadium.
With Levi's.
Levi Stadium. Now,
about
nobody would want to live by Levi Stadium.
Yeah.
No way. The noise, the traffic, all that crap.
I know you didn't go to any Niners game as a season ticket holder this year, but they've built it up quite a bit. It's pretty nice.
Oh, but the neighbors hate it.
But
The
none
parking,
of the neighbors.
the traffic.
Would you
know
want to
what?
live next door to it?
Hell yeah.
Really? All right. Well, good. I got to
Come on, Brock.
condo to sell
He
you.
would live in an apartment like across the street, but a
I
house.
thought you live in the stadium anyways in your big old red
Pretty
lazy
much.
boy.
Here's what I
That's
don't
his
like
living room.
about Levi Stadium. Not that you asked.
It's open. It sucks if
I
you're on
mean-
the sun side.
There's a lot of things that suck. But there's speakers only on one side of the stadium because of all the damn
Is
housing.
that true?
Oh, that's why?
Yeah.
Well, listen, going back, so the
Back to
time
downtown.
to make money on any of these projects are when they're first announced, because that's when all the hype is happening and stuff. As it starts progressing, now you're at the mercy of, are they going to continue the project or not, or it's built out and it's kind of lost its luster.
Okay.
and stuff.
Well, how about this question? And since you don't know where downtown is, it is.
You mean
not-
downtown University Avenue over here?
It is
Oh, you mean lots?
Old
it's
town.
intended to be a single answer question.
Okay.
You can buy the same house. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 8,000 square foot lot, 2,000 year built, 1 story. You can buy it in Berryessa, bordering East Side, or you can buy it in Morgan Hill. Where would you rather buy it?
Mark's face.
I thought you were still talking about downtown San Jose or some crap.
Where would you rather buy it?
For you to live or like a rental?
Berryessa or Morgan Hill? I do Morgan Hill.
How
I'll
about
tell you why.
A 3-bed, 2-bath.
2,000.
Same house. doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
same
2,000
house.
square foot house. Berryessa or Morgan Hill? I'd say
It's an
Berry.
easy question.
What's the issue?
I'd like to say Morgan Hill.
Morgan Hill, of course.
Why?
I like the neighborhood. The better.
It got downtown
Yeah.
area. There's a
Right.
community there.
The buyer pool for a
How about
3-2.
long-term appreciation? Morgan Hill?
That's why I said
That's a
rental.
challenge.
I'd say Berryessa has
Yeah.
probably one of the highest appreciation.
Yeah, I would. I
I
agree with you. If I was an investor, I would go with Berryessa.
Well, there's some
would.
good schools over there, some elementary schools or something.
Piedmont.
Desirable area.
Piedmont, yeah.
Piedmont's hot, but they border Independence, which is not hot.
Not hot. Never been hot.
All right, so new development. We've had quite a few showings on Alta Tierra. Beautiful property.
Yes.
But you mentioned when we went on the market that we were going to face a challenge. And what was that challenge that we were going to face that was school related?
Well, you're not in Los Gatos Schools. You're Los Gatos about Los Gatos Schools.
Correct.
That's correct. So just a few streets over is Los Gatos High School.
Literally
And
the
then-
same development. The entrance to that development.
So if you
is
go
Los
left,
Gatos
it's
Schools.
Los Gatos High. If
Yep.
you go right, it's Lehigh.
Yep.
And it's actually 2 separate districts.
That's correct.
And we're having a great showing. These buyers are super interested. They've been there for an hour and a half. By the way, we showed the property at 6:30 in the morning. And
With our contractor.
Nice.
Yes, with the contractor. Everything's great. We're ready to make an offer.
Rewind that. You showed a property at 6:30 in the morning.
The other
That is-
57 days on the market couldn't work for the guys, so they had to do it at 6 in the morning.
I mean, that is dedication to your craft, boy.
Our client lives in Asia, and he was
Okay.
flying out, and that was the
Nice.
only time he could see it.
Okay, perfect.
Anyways,
So we
What happened? I mean,
Shabbat Shalom. We made it happen.
We accommodated.
okay.
Yeah, so we're showing the property.
I was there at 6, Mark. Just
Yeah, I know.
Finally, the light is out. The sun is up, so we can see the backyard. Everything's great. We're ready to move forward. We're talking about how we're going to make it work. And they go, oh, by the way, one more thing. Just want to confirm, we're bringing the kids over here. It's Los Gatos High, right? And I
We're
go,
walking out the door.
oh, God, that truck it hit something.
Focus.
And I go, actually, it's Lee High School.
Yes.
And they go, oh, well, that's not going to work for us. And I'm like, okay. Los Gatos High
You know
School
those
is
kids
very...
in Los Gatos, they get door knocks.
Yeah.
Here's
Here's the
I
response.
I saw it was a top 10
Here's the
rated school.
response I always do is the majority of the people in homes of estate stature like that and stuff, they generally don't go to the local schools anyways. They're going to go to private schools.
He wants them to go there.
Yeah.
Well, then your home's not his house. You gotta
That's
go.
not
two
how I
streets.
saw this conversation going.
Well, I mean, yeah,
We're applying-
there's fraudulent activity you can do to get your kids.
We're applying for an intra-district transfer because he
Good luck with that.
he currently has a house in Los Gatos High School District, but he wants to sell it.
Okay.
So I think we got some good points.
What grade are the kids in?
Not to mention, Hero
Are they
Ranch
seniors
Kitchen
or are they
has
just going into
a
school?
studio above it.
I think
Hero
they're
Ranch
just going
Kitchen
in.
does.
Yeah.
Hero Ranch Kitchen has a studio above it.
Tough.
Zoned for
but
Los Gatos, Saratoga,
but yeah, it picks up Los Gatos.
Los Gatos joint.
Yeah. So, what's the price on Altoa Tierra at this
6.
point? Oh, no price reduction at all.
Not needed. A lot of activity.
Great.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do.
So
really
next
well.
podcast it'll be sold
Yeah.
to that person who loves Lee High School. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Go Longhorns.
There you go.
We'll get them a shirt.
Hey, send their kids a presentation or MIDI or something. It'll be okay.
They have 3 boys. Bellarmine, not
Bellarmine.
Bellarmine.
There you go, Bellarmine. Have a bunch of information for Bellarmine then.
But the next time you guys see me, I'm going to bring the top 10 list of schools throughout the nation. And
Throughout the nation, or
yeah,
area?
Silicon Valley has at least 3.
What are they? You know what they are?
Not off the top of my head, but I know Gunn was on there. I know Sarah was on
Greystone?
there. Greystone Elementary.
Yeah, no. Greystone isn't that?
This is
Greystone
high school
down
only.
Is there
That's
Greystone.
That's
down-
elementary.
Greystone Elementary.
Yeah.
Mark. Anyways,
They're
back to Los
they're elite
Gatos.
as well.
Used to be in high school like 20 years ago. I don't know.
Oh. All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been real, not real fun, but we'll see you guys next time.
All right, and cut. 3, 2, 1.